Welcome to the Supply Chain Revolution podcast. I'm your host, Sherry Heinisch, also called the Supply Chain Queen. And today we're going to talk about why supply chain is the career network for professionals who want to learn, grow, and lead. It's no longer a hidden career path. It's where strategy, technology, operations, consumer behavior, product management, data analytics, all the things, including resilience, meet in this perfect Venn diagram. Liz Raman Grubbs is the founder of Supply Chain Gals. It's so great to host you today. And if you could kick off, tell folks a little bit about yourself, your career journey, and the community story of Supply Chain Gals as its founder.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for having me, Sherry. I'm Liz. I'm the founder and CEO of Supply Chain Gals. I'm a Forbes 30 Under 30 honoree, an MIT and Georgia Tech alum, and currently working in tech as a senior product manager.
Wonderful. And the Supply Chain Gals community, we have met each other. I participated in the case analysis, which was an incredible community event. Can you tell folks a little bit about the gap that you saw and why something more practical and visible could actually help women in our field not only thrive in supply chain, but really help usher them through various career stages in enterprise?
Yeah, definitely. When I was starting out in my career, I started as a transportation analyst and I was super excited, super motivated to learn. But there's so many points when you're early in career where you stop and you're like, what do I do next? Where do I go for advice? Am I making the right decision? And sometimes that analysis paralysis, they say, can stop you in your tracks and keep you from moving forward in your career. So I really want to create that space to support high achievers early on in their career, have them stay motivated and have a community and resources they can go to easily to find their way in their careers. I feel like women are the minority and it's even more difficult for us to find mentors, figure out what to do next, how to handle and approach situations. So Supply Chain Gals is that community to help accelerate your career.
Wonderful. And one thing that's interesting is even in how you've described your origin story, you mentioned a lot of different areas. And so when people say supply chain, it could actually mean 20 things. And so why do you think that actually focusing on supply chain can be a real unlock and open a lot of different career opportunities for women and then other diverse voices in our domain?
Yeah. I think that if you're part of a company that delivers a product or a service in today's world, you're part of the supply chain. It may not have felt like that in the past, but definitely after 2020 and COVID, we saw how impactful and how important the supply chain is in every organization. Early on in my career, I was given the advice that you really have to pick a specialty area to be your expertise and that they hadn't seen it done any other way. And I really struggled with that advice because I wanted to be successful, but I like to learn new things. I'm curious. I get bored easily. And supply chain was the perfect starting point for my career being in traditional transportation operations because it is such a connector field. If you want to learn new things, you want to try out different areas of the business and gain experience, supply chain is the connector through all the fields. So it's a great way to set yourself up for a diverse career with tons of opportunity.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. There's also a new thread emerging around how you pair supply chain with other domains of expertise. Well, the thesis that came out of that discussion was every job is a sustainability job. Every job is a technology job. And I think you see those elements also appearing in some of the more traditional supply chain roles. Same title, different job description and scope. And so it's really interesting how picking something as broad as supply chain, you can actually have the opportunity to zig and zag, whether it's data and analytics and more technical concepts, AI, exponential tech, or on the other side, you can get into very sector specific, like retail, supply chain, and energy supply chains. They're very different, but it's still supply chain. So super, super exciting time for anyone in this space right now. I wanted to talk to you about building a community as a career infrastructure. What would you say is the practical access point for someone who's curious to learn more, whether they're interested in career education, mentorship, professional confidence, like all the things? Just give folks a flavor for how building a community actually gives you that real like career infrastructure.
Yeah, definitely. Supply Chain Gals is designed so it is the place where you can come to learn no matter where you're at in your career. If you're more senior, if you're right out of college, in college, we can all learn something together and from one another, especially in this new age of AI. So Supply Chain Gals hosts career workshops, mentorship circles, networking nights, and we have a membership with over 120 members where they're connected on Slack, asking questions, asking for coffee chats, sharing Wall Street Journal articles of what they're reading, what they're keeping up with. It's kind of like you don't know what you don't know in your career. And if you stay in your silo, in your organization, and you're rock star at your job, you'll do amazing. But if you have a community, you know what's going on around you, you know what other resources you can pull from, you get inspired by ideas and conversations you're having, your potential then becomes limitless.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned AI. And so the AI discussion is front of mind, including digital and technical literacy as our field and also as the world keeps evolving. So can you give us a flavor of how members are actually building fluency in topics like AI or other emerging technologies in supply chain transformation?
Yeah, AI is definitely top of mind as a learning priority for Supply Chain Gals. It is going to change how we approach everything and especially our careers. In May, we hosted an AI strategy, fraud, and cybersecurity discussion from an expert at Microsoft. And we have that recording available for members to access and come back to. And in July, we're hosting a workshop with a leader in data engineering and AI from Accenture, where we're going to walk through scenarios individuals or businesses can face and talk through and discuss as teams. What kind of AI tools would you use? How would you approach these solutions? To give people an idea of how AI is used practically. I think that is the biggest disconnect is you can learn as much as you can about the different tools, the technology, but if you're not actually putting it into practice, it's hard to gain those learnings and apply it to your job. But it can be scary to apply and learn as you go on your job. So Supply Chain Gals is a safe place where you can apply learnings and take it back to your career.
Yeah, and that's part of what your case study event did, I think, is the simulation. There was a lot of focus also not just on risk analysis, but also on profitability in some of the simulations. So I thought it was really well done. And I'm assuming that that's similar with technology education and upskilling, where you're giving people hardened use cases, you're letting them test and try, get a feel for like what's actually working and what it does. It's a low risk environment. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely. I was a self-taught senior data analyst, and everyone always asks me, what certificate did you do? And I didn't do a certificate. I learned on the job. So I found that the best way to learn is in this way. And I loved the case competition. It's our most popular event because you get to meet strangers, grow your network, learn, and present in an executive summary to senior leaders who are actually facing these real life decisions day to day. And I feel like you never get that opportunity early on in your career to present to a vice president and get their honest thoughts and feedback so you can improve.
Absolutely. And so we have a lightning round, Liz. So I'm going to ask you a series of really quick questions, and don't overthink it. Just first thing that comes to mind. Okay. Just give me your answer. Okay. What's the biggest misconception people have about supply chain careers?
That they are limiting.
Yeah. What is the one supply chain skill that will matter the most in the next 5 years?
Technology literacy.
Awesome. What's the one thing companies still get wrong about attracting, developing, and retaining supply chain talent?
That they're excited for the opportunity to learn.
What should professionals stop overthinking when they're trying to grow or pivot within the industry?
I think people should stop waiting until they feel ready. Instead, go before you're ready.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. And what excites you the most about what Supply Chain Gals is building next?
There's so many things. I am really excited about the community and the membership that Supply Chain Gals is building to stay connected between events and day to day.
And so if people want to learn more, get in touch. What's the best way they can find you? And any last closing thoughts front of mind?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn at It's Liz Raman. And you can find us at Supply Chain Gals and join and become a member. Join our Slack group and attend all of our events through supplychaingals. And I'd say last thoughts are, I hope this podcast episode is a sign to take a chance on yourself to try something new, because you'll be surprised by how much you learn and how much it impacts your life.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Liz. It was such a pleasure to host you. And everyone who's listening, watching, make sure you follow Supply Chain Gals. Make sure you get involved. Join the community, get engaged, and it could change your life. You never know.
Yeah.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you.